Yeah. Usually do.
The time is 4:30 p.m. Pelican Rapids City Council meeting of 11 March 2025 is called to order. I'd ask that those in our council chambers, if you have not signed in, please do so at the clipboard by the back door, and I ask everyone to please put their phones on vibrate. Roll call of members. Danielle?
Councilmember Steve Strand.
Here.
Councilmember Shelley Gilmer. Here. Councilmember Kurt Markgraf.
Here.
Councilmember Don Herron. And Mayor Brent Fraser.
Here. Want to welcome each and every one of you in our council chambers, those joining us by Zoom this evening. Remember, our city council meetings are on the Pelican Rapids YouTube channel and also seen on channel 14 on Wednesday evening. A few announcements for the next couple weeks. Today is Minnesota Township Day, where they hold their annual meetings throughout the state of Minnesota. March 19th at 4 p.m. is Pelican Rapids Economic Development Authority meeting here at the City Council chambers. 20th of March is the first day of spring, so we hope we don't get the snow that's forecasted this weekend. 25th of March from 2:30 to 4:30 is a retirement party for Wayne Stein, who is a long-serving auditor at Otter Tail County. That's March 25th, 2:30 to 4:30 at the Government Services Building. And then our next City Council meeting is slated for March 25th, 4:30 p.m. here in the City Council chambers. Any other announcements? Any other announcements? Hearing none, if we all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Item number 2 is citizens' comments. Anyone here for citizens' comments? Not seeing anyone. Item number 3 is additions or deletions to the agenda. Any additions or deletions? Any additions or deletions? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Motion second. Discussion? 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 Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Same, motion carried. Item number 4 is approval of consent agenda, which I will read. Item number 4A is approval of council minutes from February 25th, 2025. 4B is approval of accounts payable listing. 4C1 is financial report, which is in your packet. 4C2 is a police report, which is in your packet. 4C3 is a library report, which is in your packet. And 4D is Minnesota lawful gaming permit for Dunville Shooting Club Incorporated. But before we approve this, our library director, Sherry, is here. Did you want to address the council?
Hello. So I've been here for a few months, and I wanted to give the City Council an update on what the library has been up to and how we are doing since I started in January. So when I started, the HVAC system was very wonky and not consistent in heat. So we've had climate makers coming in and they have fixed it, and now it is completely consistent. The heating is like warm throughout the entire day. So it is a huge change. It's a big relief for the staff when the temperature would dip to like the 60s in the middle of the day. It wasn't really very fun to work there. So I'm glad to announce that that has been updated, and I'll continue to make sure that the HVAC system is working. And also, if it does need to be repaired, Brian has let me know the process for letting you guys know what the next steps would be about that. We have been working really hard to add additional programming to the library. We've partnered with DNR, and we have a ranger that comes in every Saturday, once a month on a Saturday for a kids program. And she reads a book to the kids, does an activity, and we saw a huge amount of kids coming in for that program. We had 24 kids. It was amazing. And we've been doing books and brunch during the week, and we're starting a craft day on the Saturday. And we've had lots of feedback to add a book club for adults that would like to have a book club in our library. So we're getting feedback, we're trying to accommodate all of the needs for everybody in the library, and we are really excited to see more people coming in, more people using the library, and just loving all of the things we've been doing. So I just wanted to let you guys know what we're doing, and if you have any questions for me, I'd be glad to answer them.
Any questions for me? No, thank you.
Great, thank you. I hope to give you,
Come back again.
yeah, absolutely. I'll come back and give you another update about how the library's doing. So, thank you.
Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda? Second?
I'll second it.
Motion second, discussion, discussion, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Let's go down to item number 7, Showcase Pelican Rapids, and there was a flyer in your packet, and I believe Jordan Grossman, Economic Development Director here, is going to speak to that. Jordan?
Hello. As a chamber member, the city has the opportunity to attend Showcase Pelican Rapids free of charge. I have prior commitments this day, so does Don. We have a planning meeting and a workshop for one of the art grants we have scheduled for town, but wanted to see if any of you were interested in having a setup at Showcase Pelican Rapids. Maybe to introduce yourselves to the community, reintroduce yourselves to the community, or if there's anything you'd like to be at a booth that maybe isn't manned but available up there. I can coordinate that, but wanted to see if any of you are interested in that or not.
I could come part-time. I'll do a plug. There's a Lions camping feed that same day across the street at Faith Lutheran Church. So I'm going to be over there for some time, but I can fill in.
As well, so it's a busy day.
So what you're looking for is a motion to approve going ahead and setting up a booth.
I don't know.
You can set it, you said it could be unmanned also.
I don't think they'd have a problem with that if someone could take ownership of, I can get things set up if you can get things put down, and if that works. Okay. We could have some info, like pool info up there. Any other?
Housing incentives, the commercial incentives, all those kind of things, we could have different things. And people are around, I mean, Brent or even Shelley could just swing by and check on it, just make sure.
Or I could have them possibly set it up next to the banks. That way you're there. And my only concern is you don't want like a great community champion to like end up taking ownership of this and maybe not be super knowledgeable about the things that are there. Right. So maybe that's the best route, if we could just have it set up by the banks and then it's there if people want to grab any informational items. But yeah,
So is there a motion to commit to having a booth at the church showcase? Motion second?
I'll second that.
Motion second, discussion, discussion, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Okay, we'll go down to item number 8. It's Resolution 2025-07 Outdoor DNR Grant. And Jordan's going to present this, and this was in your packet also. And you'll see underneath there is a bullet point matching fund discussion. We're going to talk to that after we talk about this resolution. Jordan?
this resolution is one like many others with a grant application, a resolution to go ahead and apply for the outdoor recreation grant program. We've used this program in the past to fund the walking suspension bridge in town. Essentially, it's a matching grant program for outdoor recreation to be expanded or created in Minnesota. It's a very competitive application, so having the resolution ready with time of application will be beneficial. So we can talk about details of the project, or do you want details of the project now? Sure, let's do that. We're looking at having one campsite be ADA accessible. As of right now, everything's gravel down there. And that would be the preliminary grant-funded activity. And then as a secondary activity, since we do that first, we can work on the bathhouse. So demolition and reconstruction of a new bathhouse in Sharon Park.
Questions from the council?
Possibly talk about matching grants before we passed the resolution too. So the total match would be $350,000, so total project cost could be $700,000 with this DNR grant. So we'd have to come up with $350,000 to match that. And we'd like to get that committed too, as when we apply and stuff. If we have committed funds, it's a much more competitive application. So actually, I'm going to go to the investment page here and go through a couple possibilities. So the first one would be, well, we can talk about the city trail fund right here. So in the past, when the trailhead was being talked about and things, the city put away some money to have if we needed to connect, from the trail to the new, or from the trailhead to the new Maplewood Trail, or Maplewood to Pelican to Perm Trail. So now with the 59-108 project, everything is really tied together. The trailhead is set. There's a trail right out. I mean, it's all connected now, so we really don't need that for the trail system. So it's kind of tied into the park as well, as we're putting in some new trails with it. So that would be an option to commit or earmark it for the bathhouse project. This Parks Reserve is also there. There's in there right now. And then the Sharon Park paving, obviously that would be a good candidate for earmarking it for this. That would be part of the project as well. And then the last one, I believe, is this. So the swimming pool fund right here. So I don't know how long ago it was when they started putting some money away for that, when they started talking about the pool back in 2012, I'm guessing. So if you remember, part of the original swimming pool plan was to have the actual bathhouse as part of the building. So we could improve the campground. That got taken out with trying to save money, and the pool building got moved to the north and all that. So that is not an option anymore. So this would be a good option for putting towards that bathhouse as well. Looking at the pool funds that we have now for the current new pool, we have those three different funds that we got. So we got the state grant for $1.5 million. That's all going to the pool. All the donations from the area, that was close over $1.5 million, I believe. So that's all going to the new pool. And then we did have to do that tax abatement bond for $3-something million. So after all is said and done, preliminary here, the good guesstimate would be we'd still have about $700,000 left in that tax abatement bond, which we can use for either operating expenses or helping each year pay down the payment for the debt service on that. So we're sitting really good with the whole new pool. This can get basically reallocated rather than keeping it earmarked for pool. We can actually use it for the bathhouse project. So I guess what we're looking for is using these funds to earmark them for the bathhouse, so we have the committed funds. And let's say the grant does not, we don't get awarded the grant, hopefully we'd have enough still to move forward with just the bathhouse portion next spring with these funds. So we'd get darn close anyway, and we can go from there. That's kind of the preliminary plan, so any questions?
Questions from the council?
We need to come up with $350,000.
Yeah, and we have it in those four funds. If we wanted to earmark those and commit them to the project right now to apply for that grant, and we'd have the committed matching funds that we need to make a competitive application.
I'll make a motion.
We got to pass the resolution first. Looking for a motion to pass resolution 2025-07. Okay. Is there a second? Second. Motion second, discussion, discussion, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, the same, motion carried. Now, is there a motion to use that money that Lance talked about for the matching funds?
I'll make that motion.
Motion second, discussion, discussion, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Same, motion carried. Thank you. Anything else?
Awarded, we should know mid to late July. Thank you.
Okay, now we're going to jump up to item number 6, public nuisance ordinance. And this was in our packet, and this evening, this is just an FYI. We aren't going to make any motions on this tonight. We're going to, Chief Boynton is going to go through this, and we're going to try to come to some consensus. And after we do that, this will be posted for 10 days, and then we can act on this at our next city council meeting on the 25th of March. We have been, there's been a ordinance committee that has been going over city ordinance, and this is the one that rose to the top, which we want to talk to first of all, before we talk about the other ordinance changes. Chief?
Mayor, council, as the mayor just said, the committee's been meeting. I'd ask that we review this one and get it before the council so that as we approach the season to begin dealing with some of these nuisances, I didn't want to delay the timeline, so I wanted to get this out, again, at least with us having the winter that we've had, and anticipating being able to get out and start addressing some of the nuisance properties here as soon as next week. I know that we'll have to wait 10 days before complete action takes place, but the changes that we're suggesting to this ordinance are, for the most part, to make our ordinance align better with the League of Minnesota Cities ordinance. There's their template that they have. For the most part, again, it's configured a little bit different, but generally speaking, most of the contents of theirs is in ours. I don't know if the council has any questions. I can talk about any of the changes. They are indicated on the ordinance that you were given. I can probably fly through because there's not a lot of changes here. If you go back to page 1 of what we have here at 801.01. There's a change there. We added to that sentence, making it a considerable number of members of the community must be affected by these nuisances. That's based off of case law. The league has literature out about the fact that a nuisance can't be a nuisance that only bothers one person. It has to bother the community. So in order for us as a city to take action on it, we needed to make that change. And again, it just increases the number of people that are impacted by it. So that's really the only change. And again, that one's based off of case law. If we go to the next page, I don't see any in 80103 until we get to 14, right?
Yep.
14, the change that one is not reflected in the League of Minnesota Cities ordinance. That one is specific to issues that I've encountered in my career, that sometimes people will cover their vehicles or obstruct the license plate. I don't get to go onto the property and check that out. So basically what that language does is it makes it so that that isn't acceptable. You can't put a car cover on your car that stops me from being able to see the license plate. You know, the direction for the owner would be just pull it up and I can see it, you know. Again, that's just to make it more realistic to enforce that piece on the unlicensed vehicles. Go down to 16, that is language that is in the league's. I don't at this moment know what those unreasonable vibrations are, but again, they pulled it in and we as a committee kind of discussed. I'm not sure what those circumstances are, but the league has obviously had somebody encounter that, so it makes sense for us to plug the language in, and if at some point it becomes a nuisance that we are having to deal with, the language will be in place, so. 17, I think, is just a result of things that have happened in the state in the last 4 years, that properties, activities that happen on a property basically need to stay contained to that property. The use of a property can't overflow and impact the use of sidewalks and streets, is really what 17 is saying. And then 18 was language that was also within the league's language, and it's a problem that we actually do have an issue with on one property in town, so it makes sense even more so to bring it into our language. So the changes to 80104 are just us changing some language throughout all of the ordinances. You haven't seen this yet, but places where it specifically says the city clerk has to do something, we are broadening that to city administration. In the absence of Lance or whatever, it gives us the ability to have Danielle say to do something or whatever. So we're changing that language. You'll see that on the other ordinances as we bring those to the council. And that's really the only changes that we're looking for at this time in that one.
Any questions from the council? After we post this for 10 days, it's approved at the next council meeting, can we still make changes to it at that evening or not? Yeah, what you see is what you got. Yeah, okay. Any questions? Like I say, we aren't going to take a motion on it tonight, but any questions or concerns? If there aren't, we'll move forward, but.
If there are concerns, I mean, we will have more ordinance committee meetings between now and then, so if there's something that you see a huge problem with, let's kind of flesh it out here so we can make a change to it.
I'd like to know more about migrations.
What I'm gonna make an assumption is you're talking base is what I'm assuming it is, if it's somebody's running a packer, I mean, I don't know what that might be, but the thing is it has to be behavior that isn't permitted from some other, the road construction was allowed because of a permit that existed for that. So I think that's what it's coming down to is probably based off of a radio. We have other places that kind of take care of that, but again, it's right. So
Can't hurt to have it somewhere.
Any other questions? If not, we'll leave it as is. Okay.
perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Let's go up to item number 5, Pelican Rapids Aquatic Center change request number 16. And that was in our packet. Lance, did you want to speak to that?
All right, well, hopefully this is the last change request on this project. So this comes down to a Minnesota Department of Health rule. So they came in and did their inspection this last fall. And they had several issues, which is not uncommon. I mean, most of them were pretty run-of-the-mill, and Scott responded to them, and they'll get addressed. This one was a little more muddy just because there was different interpretation from what Scott thought and to what the state says. It's basically requiring us to move the hardware on the front door to 4 feet high. To us, it sure looks like the statute is in place for like unattended pools at a hotel where the fence around there and they have to have the hardware of the fence up at least at 4 feet, which makes sense to keep little kids out of the unattended pool. Our pool, there's always someone there when it's open, of course, but they're still enforcing this rule, so we had the choice to either move all 4 of those doors that go out to the pool onto the pool deck, like from all 3 bathrooms and the hallway, to adjust all of those up to 4 feet. So we basically have to replace all those 4 doors or do it on the front door. So they're choosing to do it on the front door. what there would just be a paddle on there at 4 feet high that you'd have to push to unlock the door to get in. So I'm thinking 95% of the time when the pool is open, that door is going to be propped open. People are coming in and out, and probably the doors going out to the pool for airflow and for a bunch of different other reasons. They're all going to be propped open anyway. And we have lifeguards on staff, and we have other staff at the door. But the bottom line is, in order to pass this inspection when they come back in the spring here now, to see that everything on that list has been done, we need to change the hardware on the front door. So Scott really tried to convince them that it's needed, but the state won like they always do, and we basically have to do it. So, any questions on it?
I move to approve the 4-foot expense.
Motion and second, discussion, discussion, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, the same, motion carried. Down to item number 9, Resolution 2025-05 Midnight Grant Agreement, which is in your packet. There's actually 2 of them. This is the first one we're going to speak to, and Lance, you want to speak to that?
Yes, so different resolutions. This one will be for A&D building. The A&D building, arrival departure building, new windows, new flooring, some new bathroom fixtures, all that. So this grant will be 95% state grant and then 5% our responsibility. So there are the numbers. The state grant, they'll cover 17,320, 337, and then our cost will be $911.60. Questions on that one? I think
Questions from the council? Looking for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Second. Discussion? 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 Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Same, motion carried. Second one is item number 10, Resolution 2025-06 Midnight Grant Agreement, which was also in your packet. Lance?
This one is for the fuel system upgrade out there, to upgrade the pumps and things for credit card payment on site there. This one is just a little bit different than what we talked about before, because we were under the assumption that this was a 95% and 5% ours as well, but it is not considered a construction project. It is considered a fuel project, which is different, so it's going to be 70% grant and then 30% is our responsibility. So it changed a bit. Our cost will be $11,320.73. Show you on the investment sheet here, our airport fund, we're sitting at about 115+ thousand. So we have plenty there to cover our portion.
Questions from the council? If not, looking for a motion to approve. Second?
Second.
Motion second, discussion? 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 Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Same, motion carried. Item number 11, Resolution 2025-08, setting a public hearing on a vacation commenced, and that was in our packet. And Lance, do you want to speak to that? Do you have a drawing on there to refresh our memories where this would be?
Yes. So this is down in the southwest, and it was several months ago when the Planning Commission was moving forward with the vacation of these streets down here. I'm going to actually go to this first. property owner here came to the planning commission, is going to be selling this property and wants to be sure that the new owners have access back here. So this is still technically city street, city right away. So they approved to vacate these streets here, and then we'll have a the city attorney will draft a driveway easement for this property here to have access back to their property here. So in digging into this, the city attorney found that there are several other streets back here that had never been vacated. And her trying to get the legal description and all this figured out that's in a recordable state. Well, there's several other streets here. You can see on this is an old map here, but so this right here is actually 3rd Street Southwest. So originally we were just looking at this street here and then down. But all of Highland was still technically a street. All of this up here, this is actually up on the soccer field up here. And then back here is back in the swamp and all this. So Lindsay found all of this, and we would like to move forward with just vacating all these streets and get it taken care of at once. This Hill Street is actually the Renner Road, so that would just stay as a road. This is the Renner Road back here, and then this is all the soccer complex of the schools back here. So it's taken a long time because we're going to get a good legal description that the recorder will accept, and we finally got to that point. So now we're going to set basically a new public hearing for whatever that resolution says. That's where it stands.
Questions? This is a resolution to set the public hearing.
Yeah, and then we'll send out the notices to all the affected property owners in that area, and it'll be posted in the paper and everything, so if anyone, I've already talked to the property owners directly affected that would need an easement through there, and they're all good with it. We'll have a time to voice their concerns if there is any too, so.
I'll second. Motion second, discussion? Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Item number 12, Administrator Report. I've got some wind left in you, Lance?
Okay, since the last meeting, attended a department head meeting, attended an ordinance committee meeting, met with Mary Philippi of the communications coordinator for Lakes Country Service Cooperative as she's working on a story about Pelican Rapids for their Lakes Country Service Cooperative communicator newsletter. Attended an Otter Tail County housing convening meeting. Jordan and I met with Scott from Design Intent about the bathhouse plans. Attended an Otter Tail County Advisory Committee meeting about the Otter Tail County Transportation Plan. Met with Arvig and went through each building in preparation for the new phone system. They plan to install that new system on Tuesday, March 18th, and they'll start at the library where they've been having the most issues. Worked with the homeowner on 6th Street Northeast on the removal of a dead tree in the boulevard. Completed and issued the notice of application and set up a technical evaluation panel meeting to discuss the Wetland Conservation Act replacement plan application that was received for the Ridgecrest lots. Worked with People Service and SEH on the monitoring well issue, and I plan on being gone the week of March 24th through the 28th. So that is a council meeting day, but Tracy's stepping in and she's going to be in charge.
Any questions for Lance?
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Lance. Item number 13, Mayor Report, just a few items in the last couple of weeks. February 26th, attended an ordinance meeting here at City Hall. Also, February 27th, conversations with the mayor at the library, and also Otter Tail County Housing Convening meeting here by Zoom. Attended that with Administrator Roysum here at City Hall. Gave the welcome at the First Responders Banquet in Dunville on March 2nd. Attended an Otter Tail County Emergency Management meeting here at City Hall on March 7th, and then yesterday met with Administrator Roysum to plan the agenda for this evening. Any questions? Okay, item number 14, adjournment. Any, seeing no other business, meeting, motion to adjourn? Second? Motion second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, the same. Meeting adjourned. Thank you. Didn't expect that.